anything times 0 is 0. So x is not one or the other. There's two answers, -4 and 7. I knew it would have two answers because of this. Its degree is 2. That means it will have two answers. When we solved equations before, they always had an x to the first. An equation like this has one answer because the degree of this is 1. So the ones we're working on now are all called quadratics, which is the fancy word for something with a degree of 2. If it has a degree of 2, it will have two answers. If it has a degree of 3, it will have 3 answers. But we're not doing this. Can we do another one?
Sure.
5b squared minus 10b equals 0. Alright, it's already got that equals 0. If it doesn't, you got to make it equal 0. Which means you just take whatever's over here, subtract it so that it'll move to the other side. Alright, this has two terms. It's not a difference of squares or a difference of cubes or sum of cubes, but we can take out a GCF. So we can take out our 5b. And what's left in here is
B minus 2.
that can't be factored any further. You can guarantee it because it has a b to the first, and all of our factoring rules are for something with a to the second. So we're finished with this one as soon as we take the GCF out. We still split it up. What's on the outside, what's on the inside of the parentheses. What would b have to be here?
2. Oh,
2.
never mind.
0 divided by 5 is 0. We are allowed to have a 0 on the top. Remember, it can't go on the bottom, but we can have a 0 on the top. And on this one, we do plus 2 on both sides, so b is 2. The reason equations are, I hate to make judgments about math, but I'm going to go ahead and judge you math and tell you that these are better because you can check your work. This, if you plug it in, you should get an equal statement here. It should say 0 equals 0 when we plug it in. So if I put in b equals 0, zero minus 0 equals 0. You should get the same thing if you plug in that 2. We go back up to the original problem, and 5 times 2 squared minus 10 times 2, well, 2 squared is 4. This is super important. Exponents get done before multiplication. Remember your order of operations? So I do 2 squared is 4 and 5 times the 4. And then 10 times 2, that's 20. So 20 minus 20 is 0. That's why I like an equation always better because you can go back and check that and know that you did it correctly. Alright, I'm going to mention this because I think it should be mentioned because it's super important. The quadratic formula is this. All of a sudden I lost it. Oh, that's killing me. That's why, because I started on negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This thing is called the quadratic formula. Does it look awful? Have you seen it before?
Yes, I've seen it.
And we're about to do that?
No. I
I'm
want you to
pretty
see
sure I've
it.
never
I want
seen
you to
that.
know what it's for, but you don't have to use it. This is one of those things that I just feel like later when you get to another math class and your teacher says, have you ever seen this before? I want you to be like, yeah, I've definitely at least seen it.
So is this the last lesson?
Yes. That's all. See, the work part we've already done.
That's the whole
Factor
lesson?
it, yeah. That's all that's in this. You factor it and then put each piece equal to 0. That's how you solve.
That's so easy.
Aren't
Can
you
we
glad
do,
chose
can we
choice
do
A?
this?
Yes.
No.
Sure. Hang on. Quadratic formula is this. You might want to at least write it on your paper because this is a good sheet of notes and you never know when it might come in handy. That's not like a subtle hint or anything. I wasn't trying to, just saying, you really might never know. Okay. If we have a quadratic equation like this one, 1x squared, I'm putting the 1 there so we'll have numbers in each spot, Here's your A, here's your B, and here's your C. A is 1, B is -3, C is -28. If you plug them into here, it will be long and a pain in the butt, but the two answers you get, you'll do it once with a plus sign. See, there's a plus and a minus. You do it once with a plus sign and you'll get one of those. You do it once with a negative sign and you get the other one. Why does this exist if it's so easy to factor? Is that a good question? Because I think it is. It's pretty easy to factor, right? So why would we need this method? Because sometimes, let's use our imaginations. Two factors of 27, so 1, 27, 2, 3, and 9. Are there two factors that give me a difference of 3? Not whole numbers. Your book is being super nice, and it will continue to do that. This is not like a trick. They'll keep doing that. But in the real life, like in the sort of math people do in actual jobs, not the kind that's in a math book, sometimes the answers aren't whole numbers. Can you imagine how long it would take you to guess that the two numbers are like 9.37 and 6.44 or whatever they might be? I mean, that would be ridiculous. It would take you your whole life trying to guess which decimals would work. That's when the quadratic formula is used in real life. Forget trying to factor it because you're not going to be able to guess those numbers because they're not whole numbers. So that's when they use the quadratic formula in real life. The benefit is if you ever get stuck factoring and you just have no idea what the two numbers are, the quadratic formula works for whole numbers too. This is also, if you have a calculator that does this for you, and there are people who do, this is how the calculator's doing it. It's not guessing two numbers. The calculator's plugging into this formula. Okay, I thought I should mention it because it's an important formula that you should have heard the name of at least and should have a general idea of what it's for. It's for factoring, quadratics, which are these things with a 2 on them. You're not going to have to use it. For me, it's not on your test, but it's just important enough that I feel like you should have heard it. That was just a bonus for you for someday when you're taking another math class or an ACT or something. You never know. If you come out of, if you're going to say, Ms. Taylor was my Algebra 2 teacher, I want you to come out sounding smart. Because that makes me look good and I'm selfish. Okay, so that's all there is on this. So the work is really going to be a review because it's just going to be factor, which we already did, then put the two pieces equal to 0. Easy peasy, right? Yeah. And this quiz.
I was about to say that.
No, it's
my
like you feel
gosh,
compelled
you
to
beat me to it.
finish
With
it. How about, you got your little paddles?
Yes.
We can do this on paper and get a grade, or we can try it on our paddles. What do you think?
Let's do it on our paddles and hold up the answers.
Yes,
They
please.
can be like right, wrong, right, wrong.
Sounds good to me.
We're gonna, are we gonna
New
use these
Mexico's in-
tomorrow too?
There's some more up here.
Are we gonna use these tomorrow too?
Pen part?
Are these only for our class or are they for the other class?
Because I feel like it's really important that we use these more than just today.
The other class does a lot of difference.
How did she figure that one out?
Yeah,
You just squeezing it?
she did that.
They're actually really well behaved. You'd be surprised. In here, at least. I don't know what they're
They're
like.
pretty
the rest
behaved
of
in
the
Mr.
day.
Teal's class. I just went in there and they were quiet.
What?
That is a good group.
5, 7?
Yeah, just like that.
Let's see.
What do
The
you
8th
want
graders
to
are, for me, they're really good.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
feel
a
like
good
you have to
group.
record
They've
that.
always
I
been
don't
called that ever since before.
I got warned about them when I started teaching,
Really?
and I have not had a single,
It's the 9th graders.
I don't-
They're
Not Parker, your name.
well, then I'm
Well, not
not
so
a-
much anymore because like all the guys. left.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Guys, she's clearly hinting that it was us that she had to worry about.
It was us we had to worry what?
I mean, I worry about. I just said everybody warned me about that group, and nobody said. They were like, "Oh,
Nobody warned you about us.
Oh, we'd never been in the same class with them.
Yeah.
So they didn't know.
Except for they knew that that class would be
they didn't
bad.
know." Now I can.
Everybody
It's
dreads our
true.
class or our grade.
Why?
They hate us.
They do, they literally hate their grade, everyone.
Sweating.
Because Jacob
The
Conti
sister.
gets
I think
a
they're
bad
starting. I
name.
think people are starting to hate our grade.
Jacob Conti and Ben
Sister's growing up
Limpicky.
so fast.
Thank you. Hold on.
Wow, that was really
Who was
important.
that?
Hold on. Shut up.
Sorry, I like you.
Who?
You're okay.
Jake? I mean, Ben
Yeah.
Limpicky?
I'm not worried about this.
They called him. Oh, it's not.
Better hope Murray doesn't catch.
What?
Just kidding.
Oh yeah.
I said better hope.
Is that the only one? Right now, I'm writing the roll before I forget to do it.
Uh-oh, now we gotta do this. It's really important. Hey, Busy. Joe Clark really wants you to pay attention to him.
I already erased it now. Too late.
Aw.
Lost your opportunity.
And it was probably awesome.
It was important too. It was like nuclear launch codes.
Can I just say something I think is weird? I'm looking at the book right now.